Welcome back to Disciple of Morango. I know it's been a while. I'm super sorry. But the truth is, I'm just, it is what it is. Anyways, let me get you caught up. I had to do a bunch of stuff that I wasn't doing beforehand. I had to do a bunch of stuff kind of like out of recording for my own sanity. And I took a pretty big break. So I'm just going to spend a bit of time getting everybody caught up. So what I did was I converted this like F strings from types or whatever it was called. I put it into a namespace called types. Then toString, I just overloaded it a whole bunch of times so that this way we can just go like types, toString, give it a type, and it gives us a string. Seems to make a lot of sense. Then we also have from string. Unfortunately, you can't overload return types, which is kind of, sometimes C++ is kind of gay. I feel like it should be able to figure that out. It is what it is. It's still a great language, even though sometimes it is kind of a little, it is what it is. Anyways, so from string, and then we just have to pass it or ask for like rarity, damage type, whatever it is. So that's the other thing I did. I figured out the inventory bug that I was working on last time. It turned out, or the seg fault I couldn't figure out. It turned out the in parent right here in inventory, this was getting set to null pointer no matter what. So that's the crash that was causing me to kind of lose a lot of faith. It was just that no matter what happened, it got set to null pointer in the base class or in the base constructor. It is what it is. What else have I done since we last talked? Oh, I also created a base object class. So this base object class now will let me do like is valid some object, and it will just return a Boolean, right? And this is phenomenal because this is essentially like how Unreal does it. It's fantastic. Super simple. What else? I started working on this file loader class. So we're going to have a namespace file loader. We can either get JSON or CSV. They're both going to be like, I think, completely static. The JSON thing, it's going to take me forever to figure out JSON parsing. That's a doozy and a half. I don't really want to deal with it right now, but JSON will be important in the future. I also started building up a log. So you can see right here. Hold on. My microphone's swinging around. It's like a dirty stripper. It just keeps swinging. Why is this cable wrapped around so many times? Okay, there we go. So yeah, you can see now we also have like a logs folder, a data folder, and source. So the other thing that I spent a little bit of time doing was putting stuff into proper folders. So now debug.log, what it's going to do is everything that gets logged, it's going to throw it into debug log, and then it's just going to append, underscore the number of the log until... Sorry, I have to twist this microphone stand around so many times. Whatever. So yeah, as you can see, like it's just going to keep appending. So every time I hit F5 or play, it's going to store everything into debug log. And then when we end the game, it's just going to store it again. So, when we start the next game. So you can see like 721 was the last time it was modified. The one previous to that was 720. Right? So everything gets written here. And then as soon as we start the next game, debug log is going to get converted into debug log 22 and debug log is just going to be empty. And that's essentially all that's happening. Kind of some simple stuff like this. I also moved everything into proper folders. So you can kind of see here on the right. I don't think I can zoom this in. You're just going to have to deal with it. These are all in folders. Because if you remember before, I don't know if I showed it off, everything was just in the main folder. So I put everything in the proper folders. We now have data, and this is what we're actually going to work on today. So now what's going on is we're starting to create weapons, and we're printing them out. So let's hit play. We'll go over to the manager. As you can see, we're just going to go array of weapons, loaded weapons, equals file loader CSV load weapons. So it's super duper technical. It's going to be good. And I'll show these off in a second. So many warnings. Okay, and it seg faults like right away. Okay, cool beans. So here's the spreadsheet that I'm using. Oh, is it because I didn't fucking save? Oh my god. I gotta be real. Excel kind of sucks for that. So let's see. We should get 3. No. Okay, so let's just start going through this here. God damn. So where is this saving? It's saving to the correct spot. However, it only grabs the dagger. So you can see here we have like the name, value, weight, durability, damage roll, crit roll, always damage. Because it would be cool to have like some indestructible items, right? I think that'd be fun. I think indestructible items would be really cool. But that's probably only like a super duper rare drop. You know, like it would be cool if you had like an indestructible item, even if it was kind of shitty. I think that'd be fun. So why does this seg fault? Oh, it's the story of my life. So, okay, let's do the call stack. So line 8, we create this. And then the manager destructor destructs the player. But when we create a weapon, is it looking for a parent or something? We delete inventory. Oh, I think it might be... Oops. Yes, when we delete the manage... Yeah, but if player, delete player. So we're not even creating a player, but why is it seg faulting? So we return play game. And then we have the destructor of if player. But when we construct init log, init game, where do we create a player that... Let's go to the manager header. I also created some debug commands, which are not very good. So the base character is the player. And it's a null pointer. No, we can't do that? Okay. So why don't we just say if... I'm kind of confused why we're seg faulting here because it should catch this. It still hates it. We still so I guess I say like if inventory. I'm still sort of confused though because how does the player not equal null pointer? Right? We come into play game, we do this. And what we really should do is like for auto loaded in loaded weapons. Ooh, what happened to this formatting? We should say loaded. It's shift F5, control shift F5. Seems like a lot of shortcuts. Or it seems like a lot of keys, I guess. It is what it is. All right, let's see if we segfault at the end of line 1. Yeah, so we're going to need to... So these are just like debug strings, right? Obviously, the formatting looks terrible. Let's see if we segfault. We still segfault, which is fucking retarded. I don't know how the player is not... I don't know how the player is being initialized. So we do this. We call init game. We log. Let's check the logs. Nothing. So let's go to the player. Creating a new character. So we don't create a character ever, but it's not a null pointer somehow. That's fascinating. Why can't we set this to null pointer? Yes, I want to stop debugging. Oh, shut up. I am so close to switching to Linux. I think it might be better to just do this with like make files. I got to be real. So many of these warnings like, oh, expected a new line but found switch. Like, shut the fuck up. Do you want to here, just let me show you. Let me show you what this is complaining about. In types at the bottom here, I formatted my switch statements so that they're like this. And it's complaining that there's no new lines. Like, eat a bag of dicks. What are you fucking complaining about? This is preposterous. Preposterous. This is the best way to format switch statements with a simple return value. Anyways, we fixed it. Okay? So again, just sorry, what we're doing is we're going for the file loader. This is ugly. I don't really like it. I might declare everything as I create it, but I declared it at the beginning just so I could sort of like see what I needed. Yeah, I don't know. It's it could be better, it could be worse. At the same time, it sort of just is what it is. So, my whole goal for today was I wanted to create a chest. I want to be able to make, or sorry, I want to be able to create a loot object. Now, this could be a chest, right? Which means I think a loot object needs a classification. Because I don't want to create, like, what is loot? Loot is just an inventory. And that's really it, right? Loot could be from a character, like an NPC. Loot could be from a chest. It could be from a bag. It could be sitting on the ground. And since the inventory already handles all of the passing items back and forth and all this kind of stuff, why not have all loot essentially just be some arbitrary bullshit with an inventory? That seems to make sense to me, right? It should just be a thing with inventory, because inventory already does all of that. We just need a way to interact with it. So what I figured was we need a way to read in and create items. We already have a random number generator thing. So, yeah. So, okay. Here's kind of an annoying part. We need to go and create a bunch of weapons, right? So let's just say like D&D 5e weapons. Let's just grab a few and, before nobody says anything, I'm just kind of, and we don't have ranged yet, so this is going to have to get updated. However, I don't even know if we will have ranged weapons. So for a lot of this, I'm kind of pulling from D&D because it's like the easiest thing. However, I'm really not, like, it's not a D&D expansion or game wholly based off of D&D. We're going to pull from like D&D, and we're going to pull from Neverwinter Nights Diamond Edition, which I know is based off D&D, but it expands it a lot. And it's also just going to be kind of like, fuck you, I like to do things for fun and whatever. And these are the kind of games that I like. So, it's a good place to start. Regardless, the nice thing about this being in spreadsheets is that no matter what, I can just change it I can change it so easily. Right? I can change it so easily. So, fuck your chicken strips. And yeah, exactly. Fuck your chicken strips. You know what we also need in weapons is one-handed or two-handed. So let's add a comment in here. We'll just set one-handed to true for now. Okay, we're going to have to add that in. We're going to make the damage roll of a light hammer 1 die 4. And, again, for now, I just kind of want to create some stuff, right? I just want to have enough stuff that I don't have to sit here and like, I just want to have enough stuff to be able to do other things. So Warhammer, we're going to put this at 1 gold because currently none of this matters. This is going to be 2 pounds is 1 kilo. So we're going to say durability is 100. Damage roll, we're going to try 2 die 8. Warhammer's going to be gnarly. However, we're going to do this like a 1 die 12. Nah. Do 1 die 6 as normal. Always damage is going to be true. Rarity. Should we do uncommon? So default actually means no spell type. Ooh, you know what else would be good to add to weapons is yeah, main stat type. Which I suppose would be a E main stat. Yeah, the default would be strength. Yeah, that's a good points. Yeah, good job me thinking about stuff that I think. Yeah, like a whip. Maybe that's like 50 copper. Weight would be 1. Because the weight is an unsigned integer, so it can't be small. That's another thing we have to figure out is like what is weight? You know, because everything right now is in kilograms. And a whip does not weigh 1 kilogram, I think. Oh, fuck if I know. I don't know what a whip weighs. Come on, I'm some basic bitch programmer boy. So this is 1 die 4. We'll do 1 die 2. Let's do false. Uncommon. We'll do rare. They say slashing. Interesting. Default 0. Okay. I do want to get... Okay, so one of the things is I do actually want to get one of each spell damage type, just so I can make sure that they all work at some point. Which means... So should we have like a weapons... No, that's a loading thing. Yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay. We're totally okay. Okay, let's run it. Oh. You know, the worst part about Excel is that you have to click save. And I know that sounds fucking crazy. Especially growing, like, man, when I was in junior high school, we had to bring floppy drives to school to save things. But at this point, you know, like Visual Studio Code saves every keystroke if you add the flag. And now we have to. Oh, God, Excel is just such garbage. It's so garbage. Okay, cool. So it works. Oh, so gay. We'll need to add colors and things to this later on. But okay, let's just. It works. All right, it works. We don't have to worry about it. It's all good. So, loading weapons from the CSV, we're good to go. It works. It works. It's all good to go. It works. And again, I'm sorry that I kind of left you guys for so long. It is what it is. But, you know, there's only like 10 of you that watch, so I love you to bits, but, you know, you understand. If you're watching a stream like this, you fucking understand. All right, it is what it is. Woo-woo. Yeah, that's what I thought, perverts. You filthy perverts. If any of you out there are programming this in Rust, I'm going to be very disappointed at you. Even though I'm sure those thigh highs keep your legs rather warm. So let's keep going. All right, let's keep going. So I want to create a thing that creates some amount of loot. So I guess we also have this other issue, right? Where what is loot? Okay, so loot is like items, right? However, loot, hold on, I have to write this down. I have to write this down. Give me a second here. Let me open up. Let me open this up. Ooh. Yeah. So what is loot? Loot needs like rarity, which can be like weapons, items. It'd be like a money amount, right? Which is copper, silver, gold. Currently, it's like weapons, potions. And then there's also the like uncreated, like it's like TBD items. Like a common loot shouldn't contain gold. And that's another thing I've been thinking about. Like it I want the economy to be rather small. I hate central banks. I'm much more of a libertarian. I don't want everybody to just be swimming in silver and gold. That should have to be earned, like a full quest where a party member or something dies should give you like a gold. Copper should be the thing that you're trading with the most. Silver is like, bro, you're going hard. And gold should be like, holy fuck, this guy's swimming in pussy. All right, gold should be serious. Not sold at Costco, even though it's crazy as fuck Costco sells gold. And if people bought gold at Costco, they'd be up like 60% right now. Costco always knows. You know, it kind of makes me okay. We're not even going to talk about that. So we have some weapons. So I guess what we need to do with these weapons now is we need to actually create them and then equip them. And I don't actually think we have a way to equip things currently. So let's go to our character. Oh, inventory? No, this would have to be in the character, right? Yeah, we have nothing for equipped. Okay, so let's check the inventory. There's no equipped weapon. Ooh. Yeah, this is the thing with, and oh man. Okay, so let's just come over here. We're also going to need a secondary weapon by chance. So, equipped weapon. Offhand weapon. Yo, Copilot is getting pretty good because this is exactly what I wanted. And it's a bit sus, I will say, a little bit sus. Okay, so we create weapons. We have to add them to the inventory. And then we also need to have them in the player. Should this be a pointer? I feel like these should probably be const. I think the only thing that should affect items is the inventory. And when you look just below on line 79, we're violating this principle, but it's a work in progress. Okay? We're working on it. We're working on it. Oh, but you know what else we're not doing? Okay, in the file loader, we're creating weapons. And we're coming here and we're saying, see, where's the cost? Value. Weapon of value. So we go to weapon. Oh, whoops. But what are we loading in here? Value. String to int. So this is just not true. So what we need to do is go like F money from string. So scroll up here. This file is a fucking mess. I need to fix this file so good. It's such a goddamn dumpster fire. We're just gonna say like in value. Fuck off. Fuck off, Microsoft. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. I think I'm gonna switch to Omarchy pretty soon, like OM Arc E. I'm getting pretty sick of Windows. I don't know what it's just so frustrating. Um God, it's just so trash. So okay. Plus, like I'm gonna move to Latin America in 6 months or so. And if I buy a laptop, man, I can't deal with Windows 11. They want to take screenshots of your fucking screen and send it over every few seconds. Eat a bag of dicks. No, sir. No, sir. And I know every single one of you Rust programmers knows exactly what I'm talking about. Get right out of here. That's some crazy shit. Yeah, so let's keep going. So we have copper. It's going to equal in value split on C. To lower split on C of 0. Okay, let's just think about if this works. So we're going to split on the letter, which means the letter is going to be before the thing. I think this works. We're going to see. I'm not super sure, to be honest with you. Expected a semicolon. I got you. Oh, I'm so salty about having to move to Linux because of what Windows 11 has been doing. You know, Windows 10 has been fine, honestly. I've been using it since the open beta. I've never had an issue. I've never had a problem. You know, I've had some quarrels, but never a real problem. But this whole like key logging bullshit, screenshot taking, bro. And you know, the worst part about it is that it doesn't even matter if they do it. It doesn't matter. Because you lose all faith in that company when they start to argue things like that. Like, how could you ever trust a company that says we're going to spy on every keystroke? It's like what the EU is doing right now. The EU is talking about like, oh, we're going to monitor every single message you send on your any messaging app. Bro. If you're watching this video, I know that you have said some things that you do not want other people hearing. Come on. You're watching some... Let's be real. Okay, look. We've all said some choice things. We may have called some people some words that we don't want exposed in court. There's a good chance some of you may wear some type of ears or skirts, and that's okay. That's okay. But do you want that coming up in court? Bro, no way. No way. No way. No way. It's crazy shit. Crazy shit. Let's keep fucking going. Weight, durability, crit roll. Okay, where's the value though? Value is number 2. String to int. Value. Absolutely not. This needs to be F money item. Okay. You know, this is always one of the interesting things is that we need to negate nothing. It's like, how do you do that? Do you do it in the base class and just convert it to a string? Or I think you do. Yeah, that's a thing. So let's hit play. Let's see what fucking happens. I think it's going to be these. I hate these warnings. These are non-warnings. All right, what do you want? These shouldn't be consts. These are pointers. There's no reason they can't be const. That's preposterous. You have one weapon for every load. Jesus. Well, I guess I normally have one weapon for every load. Let's keep going. Yeah, main hand, offhand weapon. Yeah, I know. You're grouchy. You're grouchy. You're a goose. You might even be a grouchy goose. I get it. It's all good. Let's recompile. I know it's gonna bitch. It's fine. So inventory's base item. Okay, well, let's just forward declare the class, I guess, and go include types. I think the forward declaration should work. Let's see. Okay, so no file, public items. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Look, a little bit of fandangling. This is a thing with C or C++, right? It just requires a little bit. Look, if you're not willing to cradle the balls and stroke the shaft, you're not ready for C. It just is what it is. It is what it is. It needs to be loved. All right, we're back. It's been no time for you, and it's been a few seconds for me. So, what the fuck are we doing? We need money to print as a string. I think. Yeah, because we have to pass in a value, right? And we have to actually pass this in for what it's worth. Come on, grab it. So if I look at our file loader here for the weapon, the value is getting passed in as F money. F money needs to take in a string, which it super duper does not. Damage. Where are we here? Money is not a class. Yeah. In value as an F string. So we can do this already. Okay, so this is already a thing. It's already a thing. Hmm. Okay. Right, but we're not printing the value. And we're not standardizing the line lengths. Okay, totally fine. We can do that later. These are just like debug strings, right? So it's not really that big of a deal. Um Shit, I guess let's create a new CSV. So let's go to data. We'll say like base items, weapons. Oh, save, I guess. Needs to go in there. And then now we need to create a new consumables.csv. Oh, shut up. Nope. Why is it that when I open this up in Excel, it seems to show nothing? Oh, there we go. Okay. We're good. Data slash items. Let's just be 100% sure that this worked. It did not. Base items. And we'll F5 the crap out of that. There we go. Yep. Good to go. Okay, so what is a chest? What is loot? Loot can be on a body, which is just inventory. It can be in a chest. So is loot a type? Like, should we make loot an enum? Right? Is loot yeah, I think it is. Loot type Oh, it has to start with an E. Does it need a type? Or is this like a whole class that then gets added on and you can only access? Ooh. How do you deal with loot? Because, I think the problem I'm coming into is that the base character is really big and it maybe shouldn't be public base object. Yes. Hmm. It's a bit of a pickle. Like, how do you handle loot? Because loot is kind of just an inventory, which we already have. So is it just a base character? I think if it was a character, it would make a lot of sense. Because I guess, yeah, here's the issue. Right now, base character is a player character and a non player character. Potion ideas, idea for potions. Okay, well, that's super descriptive. So happy I did that. Different chests should have different ways to open them. So do we OOP the fuck out of this? Like how do we do this? We do need like a player character versus a base character class unequivocally. We need to do that. However, what is a character? Is a character, a I think it could be a chest. No? I think it could be. I think a character could be a chest. Like, okay, let's just talk about this. Level. That seems to be fairly logical for what a chest could contain. Experience, required experience, bit of a stretch. Carrying capacity, 100%. If you wanted to build a chest in your base, it should have a certain amount of weight. Because in this game, we're not going by like we're not going by like inventory slots, right? We're just going to go by weight. Health, 100%. Mana, yeah, what if the chest is like a oh tits, what are they called? It's like a chests that attack you. And if any of you say goth mommies, I swear to God. Mimics. Yes. Goth mommy was also a good choice. So damage would make sense. Armor makes sense. Spell damage makes sense. Stats also make sense to a degree. And modifiers make sense. Level up also makes sense, right? Say you come from a high level region to a low level region. Should every chest be easy as fuck? I don't know. I don't think so. I think that the chests should always be rewarding. Sometimes they're hard. Sometimes you need strength or constitution, or, well, maybe not constitution, but like intelligence. Mm. For sure, strength, agility, wisdom, and intelligence. If they are semi sentient, maybe charisma. But if they explode, that could also involve intelligence or constitution. Ooh, shit. Yeah. Chests are people too. All right. Remember that when you see your next goth mommy. Chests are people too. Be respectful of all those girls. Even if they don't want you to be, well, if they don't want you to be, it is what it is. Most of them don't. So okay, let's just think about this for a second. So now we need we need two more classes, right? We need a player character and we need a let's just create chests as like a base player character. How do we create We have no way of creating their inventory. We can get the inventory. Yeah. Hmm. Which is a part of base character. Yeah. Let's just F12 our way through this. So, as a part of inventory, we can create a bunch of items. We can add items. Hmm. We can add active. Yeah, this is the kind of thing is that it's like to make the simplest gameplay, it feels like you need so much once you've created one or two games. Because there's just an infinite amount of stuff you have to do. Okay. So let's just create a class. Let's just do it. Add class chest. It's going to be base. Character. Okay. Let's do it. Oh, shit. Ooh. AI is hitting me hard. So, okay. So, the base chest is going to need a function to generate loot. We want to know the level and the item levels. So that's what AI told us. And the number of items should be generated from the loot. We should be an inventory pointer. Come on. Oh. No. It should it should be a rarity. Yes. Okay. So let's just look at this spreadsheet again, right? Characters, weapons. So let's come up here. We'll include IO/file loader. Fuck you, AI. I don't even know how I turn it off. It just keeps happening. And we're just gonna do. Yes. Maybe I won't turn it off. It's okay. This returns an array of weapons. So the inventory is a new inventory. And if it is greater than or equal to the level, okay. What is this? All right. Weapons equals weapons dot default. It's gonna fail. Yeah, because the chest needs to load in this weapon. Okay. Ooh. Okay, so Name, value, weight. Let's check out a weapon. Alrighty. Let's tab our way through it and see what it does. It's not good. Okay. Hmm. Weight. Okay. We're going to call it here for tonight, boys. I love you all very much. Let's figure this out tomorrow. Have a good night, boys.